Just remarking to friends back there in my discussion, I'm like, I hate to say it, but I don't know a lot of you people. And that says, wow to me, that you are just so interested in what we do and supportive of what we do, that you're here. And these might not be your people. They're my people, they're some of your people, but just for you to come back, my friend Lillian, coming back, like that's awesome. To support these kids, support this program, and support what we do here at Spruce Mountain, you guys deserve a round of applause. So thank you. So, this is the 2024 Rock of Ages band that we put together up here this year. We have a wonderful program that we have for you tonight. If you haven't been here, you know that there'll be a little brief conversation in between all of those. And following tonight's performance, I also do the awards ceremony for the students. And then following that, moms and dads, they will stay until we're done, because that's part of learning. You don't get to take your drumsticks and go. That's part of being a roadie too. So they will be helping us lug and tug back to the band room so that it is all set up for the 2 days when we get back. So that I hope you're appreciative of that time that I will need and they will need for each other. So relax, enjoy, and put your hands together for this 2024 Rock of Ages.
It's hard to believe, but this very Friday, as every year before Memorial Day, marks the 15th year of the Rock of Ages concept for our school and community. Hundreds of students have participated in this much-anticipated event, and thousands of others have enjoyed their efforts. From students to teachers to administrators, many have joined in the fun of sharing music on the stage that is iconic in our history of rock. Besides Mrs. Fenelson, there are a few others in the audience who have likely been at every single Rock of Ages concert as well. For others here today, some songs may be old, some may be new, and some might be unfamiliar, but we do hope that they will all be appreciated and enjoyed. So we begin, as we did 15 years ago, with the song that started it all, Rock Around the Clock by Bill Haley and his Comets.
3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Put you by that time and enjoy the time. We'll have some fun when the clock strikes 1. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock till the bright daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. With one strikes 2, 3 and 4, and the dance will start, we'll be out the door. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock till the bright daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
The 1950s were a significant period in time in which the civil rights movement had started. The landmark Supreme Court decision in Brown versus the Board of Education in 1954 declared racial segregation in public schools unconstitutional and marked the beginning of a push for desegregation and equal rights for African Americans. This decade also saw the popularization of rock and roll music, which had significant impacts on youth culture and music worldwide. Artists like Elvis Presley, Chuck Berry, Little Richard, and Buddy Holly defined the genre with their energetic performances and catchy melodies. The music of these artists was being absorbed by the youth of the decade and helped to bridge the racial divisions present. Elvis Presley began his quick rise to popularity in the 1950s with his unique blend of rockabilly, rhythm, and blues, and country music. His charismatic stage presence and unique voice lured many young fans. His high-energy performances and distinctive style challenged societal norms and helped popularize rock and roll music around the world. Elvis Presley's recording of Hound Dog was released in 1956 as a single and became one of his most famous and iconic songs. His performances on The Milton Berle Show and The Ed Sullivan Show propelled it to massive success. Hound Dog remains a classic in the history of rock and roll era. Not sure if you've ever caught a rabbit, but you are all our friends. Please enjoy Hound Dog.
You ain't nothing but hound dog. You ain't nothing but hound dog. Hound dog. You ain't never got you ain't no friend of mine. They said you was high. Well, that is the lie. They said you was high. Well, that is the lie. You ain't never got you ain't no friend of mine. You ain't nothing but hound dog. Hound dog. You ain't nothing but hound dog. Hound dog. You ain't never got a rabbit, you ain't no friend of mine. They said you was high, well that is why. They said you was high, well that is why. You ain't never got a rabbit, you ain't no friend of mine. They said you was high, well that is why. They said you was high, well that is why. You ain't never got a rabbit, you ain't no friend of mine.
The 60s were a time of both violence and peace. The Vietnam War was underway, JFK and Martin Luther King Jr. were both assassinated, and the hippies were protesting and getting violently high. It was like Forrest Gump but in real life. This decade was the time of Woodstock and decently priced concert tickets. Imagine going to see the Mamas and the Papas for $4 per ticket. Shocked, huh? Exactly. Other bands of this time included Creedence Clearwater Revival, Jefferson Airplane, and Peter, Paul, and Mary. Speaking of the Mamas and the Papas, did you know that they were originally called the Magic Circle? The Mamas and the Papas consisted of John Phillips, Big Mama Cass Elliott, Michelle Phillips, and Denny Doherty. In the winter of 1963, two of the members of the Mamas and the Papas wrote this song while staying in New York while missing the warm Los Angeles heat. Groove with us as we take you back in time with California Dreamin' by the Mamas and the Papas.
All the leaves are brown, and the sky is gray. I think for a while, still on a winter's day.
the most influential band of all time, the Beatles were an English rock band from Liverpool. The Fab Four consisted of members Ringo Starr, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and of course, John Lennon. The Beatles were the first rock group to have their own production company and even attempt to manage their own careers after the death of their manager, Brian Epstein. Beatlemania forever changed rock music, and their impact on the industry is without measure. To many, the band's legacy is still unmatched. Written and sung by Ringo Starr, Octopus's Garden was published on the Beatles' 1969 album, Abbey Road. The idea came about in 1968 when Ringo Starr was on a boat that belonged to comedian Peter Sellers. Starr ordered fish and chips and somehow received squid instead. The captain of the boat then took that opportunity to tell Starr about how octopuses build gardens by traveling along the seabed, picking up stones and other shiny objects. With rising tension among the Beatles at the time, Starr later admitted that he just wanted to be under the sea too, which formed the opening lyrics of the song. The song was featured many times on shows including The Ed Sullivan Show, Sesame Street, and The Muppets. Please escape with us to the Octopus's Garden.
After the loss of several prominent American leaders during the 1960s and continued war, Americans were ready to embrace something new and relatable. The explosion of Beatlemania and the British invasion period met that need for young Americans. The Kinks were one of many British bands that became successful during this time. In October of 1964, they released You Really Got Me. The band recorded the song multiple times, and they considered those recordings to be too bluesy. They continued to work on the song until they eventually ended up with the version that we now know. You Really Got Me was one of 3 #1 hits released by the Kinks during their career, and it's the song that made the band so popular. Please enjoy You Really Got Me. Do any of you remember the iconic More Cowbell skit from Saturday Night Live? Well, the song used in that was Don't Fear the Reaper by the Blue Oyster Cult. At the time of its release in 1976, rock played an important part in the Western culture, with punk rock thriving near the end of the decade. This masterpiece of a song emerged a year after the Vietnam War ended, and this marked a time when music had become a voice of the people to protest against violence and advocate for peace. The Blue Oyster Cult stood out among many of the bands of this decade for their fusion of hard rock, heavy metal, and science fiction themes in their songs. Don't Fear the Reaper was written to confront the inevitability of death and the foolishness of fearing it. Please tap along with our cowbell selection to Don't Fear the Reaper. to introduce the members of this year's band, Crash Course. Starting with two very brave and fabulous freshmen, Alyssa Tompkins and Landon Hack. Representing the skillful sophomores, Kaz Townsend, and myself, Blake Jamella. Our sole junior participant is the ever-vibrant Violet Belrose. And for the remaining 7 celebrity seniors, we have Catherine Dorey, Salem Hughes, Brooke Pelletier, Peyton Reichenbach, Casey Burns, Haley Jackson, and Faith Moran. This next era is usually defined by its preppy style, neon colors, and synthesized pop sound. But its more influential and long-lasting cultural phenomenon was its prominent rock scene. Among heightened Cold War tensions between the US and the Soviet Union and women's advancements in space history with Sally Ride, the 1980s rock groups sported big hair, black leather everything, and spiked jewelry. Iconic bands such as Bon Jovi, Journey, and Aerosmith became household names with songs like Living on a Prayer and Dream On. Among their male contemporaries, female rockers like Joan Jett, Heart, and Blondie defied stereotypes, challenged gender norms in rock music, and paved the way for future female musicians. Pat Benatar, another iconic woman in the 80s rock scene, made her first breakout hit with this next track. Because the composers of this song were British and made references in the song that would have felt foreign to Americans, Benatar had to rewrite the song and make it more suited for her American audience. Benatar has since gone on to win a Grammy 4 years in a row for Best Female Rock Vocal Performance and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2022. Please put your hands together in welcoming Heartbreaker by Pat Benatar. For many Americans, the decade of the 90s was a time for peace, prosperity, and a rapidly evolving technology industry. The 90s witnessed the rise of diverse music trends, including grunge, hip-hop, pop, electronic music, and pop-punk. Grunge and alternative bands such as Nirvana and Pearl Jam challenged the dominance of pop music and brought raw, angst-filled sound to the mainstream. Pop, punk, and post-grunge blended rock and pop elements with bands such as Green Day and Blink-182 appealing to a wide range of music fans. The impact of the 1990s music trends, it can still be felt in the industry today. Speaking of today, it is our 90s song selection. It was written and performed by one of the many successful sound influences of the 90s, the alternative rock band, the Smashing Pumpkins. This song, which outwardly seems very upbeat, actually has many dark lyrics and background. The song was written about a day in which the lead singer, Billy Corgan, was having many suicidal thoughts. After the band's growing success throughout the decade, they were hyped up as being the next Nirvana, whose lead singer, Kurt Cobain, also suffered from mental illness and eventually took his own life. Corgan and Cobain were actually friends, and together their music has helped others navigate their own dark roads of life. Please enjoy Today. The early 2000s was definitely a time to remember. The decade began with the bombing of the World Trade Centers and the Space Shuttle Columbia exploding while Americans watched on television. Additionally, the global financial crisis in 2007 caused a Great Recession. Given these events, it's easy to see why the 2000s was notably a trying time. Women can laud the inroads made by Hillary Clinton, who made history for being the first female elected into the Senate from the state of New York, as well as being the First Lady. No other woman has done this. For you techies out there, you can also appreciate that Apple has introduced the first iPad of the generation. In contrast, the music industry throughout the decade was thriving. Post-grunge, nu metal, punk, emo, and metalcore were all blasting through almost every radio for the teen community to hear. With mainstream rock charts, the band, with 19 number one singles, leading them to have the most on the Billboard mainstream rock charts, the band Shinedown fits all the mainstream genres into one band. Regarding our song choice, Second Chance, for this decade, lead singer Brent Smith is quoted as saying, "This song for me is the most personal song on the record because it's about how I grew up in my childhood. It's about throwing caution to the wind and going after what you truly want in life," end quote. Everyone deserves a second chance. Please enjoy. The singer-songwriter movement can be traced back to the 1960s and 70s when influential artists such as Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, and James Taylor emerged on the scene. Their music was based on cultural happenings in the era, wars, and political stances. Nowadays, the singer-songwriter movement can be characterized by personal expression on any topic. Female punk singer-songwriters were becoming increasingly popular in the early 2000s, and angsty breakup songs were all the rage. With other hits such as Skater Boy and Girlfriend, the princess of pop punk rocked the world with her power ballads. Influenced by bands such as Blink-182 and Green Day, Avril Lavigne quickly became one of the most influential artists of the decade, reflecting on her relationships and personal aspects and other aspects of her personal life. She inspired people to express their emotions through music. It is our pleasure to present to you our pick for the singer-songwriter genre, Complicated by Avril Lavigne.
Life's like this. That's the way it is. 'Cause life's like this. That's the way it is. Chill out, watching out the door. Lay back, it's all been done before. And if you could only let it be, you would see I like you the way you are. When we're driving in your car and you're talking to me one-on-one, but you become somebody else, not everyone else. You're watching your back like you can't relax. You're trying to be cool, you look like a fool to me. And tell me why'd you have to go and make things so complicated. I see the way you're acting like somebody else gets me frustrated. It looks like this do, and you fall and you call and you break and you take what you get and you turn it into honesty and honesty. You're never gonna find your fake it. No, no, no. You come over unannounced, dressed up like you're something else. Where you are and where it's at, you see, you're making me laugh out when you strike your pose. Take off all your crappy clothes. You know you're not fooling anyone when you become somebody else, not everyone else. You're watching your back like you can't relax. You're trying to be cool, you look like a fool to me. And tell me why'd you have to go and make things so complicated. I see the way you're acting like somebody else gets me frustrated. It looks like this do, and you fall and you crawl and you break and you take what you get and you turn it into honesty. You promise me you're never gonna find your fake it. No, 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 no. Chill out, watching out for. Lay back, it's all been done before. And if you could only let it be, you would see somebody else, not everyone else. You're watching your back like you can't relax. You're trying to be cool, you look like a fool to me. And tell me why'd you have to go and make things so complicated. I see the way you're acting like somebody else gets me frustrated. It looks like this do, and you fall and you crawl and you break and you take what you get and you turn it into honesty and prophecy. You're never gonna find your fake it. No, no, why'd you have to go and make things so complicated. I see the way you're acting like somebody else gets me frustrated. It looks like this do, and you fall and you crawl and you break and you take what you get and you turn it into honesty and prophecy. You're never gonna find your fake it. No, no, no.
During the 2010s, the US was focused on the financial crisis that the 2008 Great Recession caused. The advancements in technology was rapidly expanding, with the iPad being released and Instagram being launched to the public. With this came more globalization of music sharing, which was highly illegal at the time. The app known as Napster allowed peer-to-peer transfer of music files, sending the music industry into a tailspin. Legal copywriting issues were eventually hammered out in court, and the next digital natural creation was streaming services, which allowed people to personalize their song choices. New music was being discovered, and the music industry saw a lot of dance pop, electronic dance, electropop, and even hipster culture boost during this decade. This ended up causing a huge downturn and people listening to rock and roll. The decade did, however, have the comeback of several rock bands such as Metallica, AC/DC, Green Day, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. The decade also saw a huge rise in Christian music popularity. In fact, TobyMac, a Christian artist, was featured in NFL broadcasts with this next band, increasing the popularity of Christian music to the masses. This next song is by the Christian rock band Skillet, who performed in 1996. The chosen song is Skillet's third most viewed video, and it also earned them #1 on ChristianRock.net. Awaken Alive was written to explain the feeling of waking up and feeling at war with your soul and with the world. Thank you for coming to our concert, and we hope this song wakes you up and makes you feel alive.
means I have to get another song ready.
Okay. So if you guys want to have your seat, I hope you'll stay, please, and just have a seat. Okay, go ahead. You need a pass, please. So I'm just going to take a... I'm just going to take a few minutes just to thank a few people before I give the awards tonight. But we can't do this alone. So I would like to acknowledge Chris Floyd and Robert Fowler back there on our sound. I'd like to thank Dan Levante and Alex Ladd for our lights, all that.